Welcome to your reading. This is for the week of the 22nd to the 28th of July. I've done a lot of pre-shuffling, contemplation, and opening up for your messages this week, and let's just dive into it. Now, as always, if these are resonating and they are landing, there's more information below on how you can go even further, either working with me one-to-one or getting a 30-day intuitive forecast, which is really just helping you navigate your next 30 days in a way that's not sort of caught up in the traps of your mind or your expectation on what might happen, but truly tuned into the energies and the opportunities that are coming your way and that are available to you. So check that out, and you're always welcome to reach out and ask any questions if you want to. We're starting today's reading with a very clear message coming through on you've got the wrong idea about your responsibilities and what you should be doing. You're not only carrying too much, like the burden is too heavy. You've created this whole story in your mind on what it's going to take in order for you to get where you want to be going. That you're actually like tricked yourself and trapped yourself into this way of operating that isn't actually true. Now, everything in this world is subjective. Like there is no one right way, there's no one right path. There's, if you're in a business, there's no way to one, right way to make a successful business or run your business or do whatever it is that you desire to do. Same as in career, same as in relationships, same as in your hobbies and your art and whatever else you are doing in your life. There is no one way. So tune into your heart in this moment and ask yourself, have I been setting up this expectation of like, we need to tick all these boxes, we need to do all of these things. If it doesn't go this way, if it doesn't unfold in this manner, if I don't somehow reach all these particular milestones, it's never going to happen for me. The biggest burden you are carrying is the expectation on the way things should be. Give that up, give that up, give that up. You could listen to none of these messages this week except for that one, and you would be doing yourself such a favor, such a service. And truly, I think that is the crux of any major issue in your life at the moment is you're doing more battling within than without because you simply don't have the time and energy and effort because of all this stuff. Tune in, ask yourself, what am I carrying? What burden am I taking on? And then do what you need to do to flip that around, turn that around. The first three cards that I want to show you, I pulled these and then that was like the clarifier for me. We've got the Justice, the Empress, and the Judgment card. Now, the Judgment card has come out quite a few times when I was just shuffling the cards and getting ready. So I know judgment is a key piece to this. Either you've been judging yourself again with that sort of burden card, what I should do, what I have to do, what is the right thing to do. And that's really got you twisted up and muddled up. Or a part of that is the attachment to the judgments of others. Now, it is so easy with the social media driven world to be so conscious of what not only what everyone else appears to be thinking, but sort of being connected to the expectation that people are out there judging you, that people are seeing you, that people are perceiving you, that people are, got their eyes on you. But being seen and being judged is two very different energies, and your focus, whether you realize it or not, is more tuned into this judgment energy. It's more tuned into following the way you think the crowd is moving or the way you think the crowd is expecting you to move. This is not helpful. The Justice card, a bit of a reminder this week of like coming back into balance and not just righting the wrongs. And I don't mean that in a judgment way of like what is right and what is wrong, but righting the imbalance of what's been going on in your life. Have a good look around, and this is going to come through in the rest of the messages today, but have a good look around in your life and think, you know, is that in balance? Is that harmonious to what suits me and serves me? Or have I, arranged things because I think that's how they need to be stacked and sorted? That's how this external sort of observation and the burdens you've been carrying have told you it needs to be. Because on the other side of that is the Empress. On the other side of that is abundance. On the other side of that is so many things that you don't have to fight for anymore. Like the Empress She's successful, she's powerful. She has a lot of access to the things that she desires, but she hasn't gotten there through force. She hasn't gotten there through following the rules of others. And that doesn't mean we don't have to necessarily follow rules or laws or whatever else might be out there, but it does mean that you need to find a way that works to draw upon your strengths and draw upon your power in order to get there. That's what will readdress the balance. That what will bring things back into harmony and make you no longer care what the judgments of others might be, because she's here. Whoops. She's here, on her couch in the woods, having a good time, completely at ease, completely, loving it. If someone was to walk by and judge her, it wouldn't enter. It wouldn't matter. You can't, she doesn't care because she has everything she wants and she needs and she desires. So those are just some initial messages that were really coming through. And I get the sense that this week is, and I'm like so ready to go into the rest of these cards, but over the next 7 days, opening up that portal to what is possible. And often what is possible is just on the other side of the belief that we get to have things on our terms. If you're walking through life with the programming of, I need to make the best of this situation, or, you look around and you see what everyone else has, and it's just like, what's my version of that? Really stepping out of the lines this week. You don't have to color within the lines. You don't have to live within this sort of black and white world of what everyone else has done. You get to draw the line. You get to create the picture. You get to make the masterpiece that is your life. That is a belief to work with this week. All right, let's start diving into the cards. So the way these came out is I was shuffling and then I've got a clarifier. We've got a few different piles. Now, heads up, you might sense that each of these is a message for you. You might sense one particular pile has really drawn your focus and drawn your attention. There is no right way to access these messages. There is simply what resonates and what doesn't. If it resonates, listen. Ask yourself the question, how can I expand on this? How can I embrace this? Yes, I sense this is meant for me. And so why was I meant to hear it this week? Was it to incite action? Was it to incite insight? Was it to be a reflection or a reinforcement of something you need to focus on? There are so many different ways you can utilize this information. Use it as information, use it as guidance. And if it lands and if it resonates and if you come up with something, let me know in the comments below. I want to hear from you. I want to support you. And if there is anything that I just intuitively connect with when I see your comment or your message, I'll definitely add it there for you as well. So don't hesitate to reach out. You never know what message is going to come through for you. Okay, so in this first pile, we had the King of Pentacles in reverse. This is around your career, the stability in your life, whether that's, financial stability in terms of however you make your income, like your business, your career, maybe your partner, if that's where the finances are coming from, or pension or whatever it may be. This is in that area. Now, the fact that it's in reverse is like there's a little bit of a kink in this flow. So you might be experiencing some financial difficulties, or even I get more it's financial uncertainties. And that could be in the way of like maybe something is impacting your payments, maybe you've been getting in the way of your cash flow or your cash safety. There is something here that is making you put in question your foundation. The two cards that came out with this is the Judgment and the Death card. These are very beautiful cards from the Norse rune deck. When I saw these, it was that death to judgment. That was really the message, which was like, coming out earlier with the burden and the judgment is like, it's judgment getting in the way. When you can release the attachment to judgment, when you can release the attachment to looking outside of yourself for the answer, when you can release not just responding to what other people may be pushing your way or telling you to do, or even that, really sneaky where we get in our own heads and we do what we think other people want to do, even if no one's ever said that, that is something to release, to transition out of. Because this death card isn't coming in to go something's wrong or something needs to end. It's saying there is an opportunity here. You've been given this pause, you've been given this disruption because something isn't working. And maybe the judgment of others and maybe what you've been responding to, out of the goodness of your heart and out of your best intentions, regardless of the why, this has now become a beautiful opportunity for you to go, well, I've got the time and I've got the space, and I definitely have the incentive to sort this out. So the death card is like, here is your doorway into a new way, your doorway into a new way for something greater to come about. Now, this King of Pentacles won't turn around. I get the sense it won't turn around just like that. It doesn't come through just one action or just one sort of thought. However, that death card, like this is an instant opportunity, however, for you to go through that doorway. Still a journey, still a transition, still steps to take, still things to do. But on the other side of that is eventually that king turning around again. Our next messages coming through, I get the very distinct impression that these are separate messages. Of course, because we're talking to a particular sort of cycle or week, many of these may have sort of overlapping messages, but they do feel very distinct at the moment. The Nine of Swords. I get a lot of doubt. I get a lot of worry and concern. There's a tightness in my chest at the moment that is telling me you're losing not just sleep over this, but it kind of is taking the life out of life, if that makes sense. Like you can't seem to go with the flow. You can't seem to just enjoy the day. Even if nothing is particularly wrong, there is this sense of anxiety and worry that's kind of like lodged in your lungs, lodged in your chest, lodged in your throat. Like there's this stuckness. You can't breathe easy. Thinking about where that's resonating, what's coming through, the cards are telling me, because we've got the Star card and the Ten of Stones, that this is really about the stability of your future and whatever it is that you're working on. Now, the Star card can mean lots of things. I get the sense it's like what you want to, your purpose in the world. And like that doesn't have to be a purpose like I need to save 1 million people, or I need to end poverty, or I need to this, that, or the other. But just that sense of why am I here? What am I doing? What's the point of all of this? That foundation, it's interesting because these cards coming out, they're telling me like there is a strong foundation of this. You have either gotten a very conscious sense of what you want to do in the world or how you want to operate, even if you don't know the what, the outcome, the path. There is a deep knowing within you of like you've gotten the clues. You have all the stones to build this house of certainty and purpose and passion. You have everything that it takes, and now it's just time to go on the journey. But the Nine of Swords is just like, but you're so worried about it. You're so overthinking about it. You're so stuck on how this is going to unfold and what needs to happen and what's in the way, that it's really taking you away from, building the house. I get this message coming through very strongly. If this is the message that is resonating with you, is start to look around your life, or even just, look inwards at yourself and go, what building blocks do I have? What signs have I received? What nudges and whispers are calling to me and giving me information about my path, my purpose, my power? And maybe you're not quite ready to, to build this rock solid house out of it, but start collecting those stones. Start, gathering them close. Start thinking about where might this take me? Where might this be leading me? What does this want me to do? rather than focusing what you don't know or what you don't currently have. This is a like a crossroads going, if this phase of your life is around deciding where you want to go and how you want to get there and, all that sort of stuff, if you get this urge, and I know many people who work with me or listen to this stuff is on this path and is on this track of like, I just want to be doing the thing I'm meant to be doing in my life. You can focus on the lack, you can focus on what you've got and where you're going. That is your opportunity. That is your choice. If this has resonated with you, tell me which path you're choosing. Our next set, we've got the card of temptation. Oh, and this is number 19. How interesting. I'm filming this on the 19th in preparation for next week. And I also, when I went out to do my laundry, even though it shouldn't have been because it'd been on way longer than the cycle, there was still 19 minutes left. And I was just like, this significance to the number 19. Maybe it's your lucky number, maybe it's your birthday, maybe something happened on the 19th, the day that I'm filming this for you. Think back to Friday. Did something happen? A temptation of some kind. And we've got the Knight of Swords. There is a temptation to rush into something. There is a temptation to give into something. There is a temptation to not think things through. Maybe on the 19th, you saw yourself do that. You knew it wasn't a good idea, but you just jumped right in. With this temptation card, I don't get the sense that, like, I don't think temptation is a bad thing. Let's just put it out there. We're often tempted by things that are calling to us on a subconscious level that we haven't quite allowed ourselves to acknowledge and honor. And temptations can be beautiful, intuitive nudges towards things that are meant for us. So I want to just put it out here. Don't judge yourself on whatever that temptation was. Think about, why did I have that temptation in the first place? What did I, at some level, sense or feel that I needed to experience, to achieve, to receive? Temptation is a clue on something we're looking for. But this is such a, like, I knew there was something significant about this, so I actually got the book. I don't normally go to the book for things, but I want to read it to those who are resonating with this message. And just even if you didn't have something significant happen on the 19th, if this is already resonating with you, it could just be coming later in the week. Life is full of temptations, and right now you're being asked to choose the higher path. Your need to prove that you are worthy and important is clouding your true purpose and tempting you to make wrong decisions. Become aware of what is happening in your life right now. Are you feeling bored in a relationship and looking for something outside of your partnership instead of being honest and working on the challenges you are experiencing or moving on? Is there a work opportunity that is tempting you to act without integrity in order to get ahead? Are you using money as an excuse not to follow your heart? This card asks you to focus on the bigger picture, be honest with yourself, and take the higher path. Another opportunity that is much grander than what you have imagined is on its way. Just be open to it and allow it into your life. I think besides for those very clear examples and messages, what I get with the combination of these two cards, the Temptation and the Knight of Swords, is very much what I was saying before. It's like, if you have that drive to rush in, thoughtlessly, senselessly, without full integrity, go to the not what do I want in this moment, the pizza, the person, that particular, job or whatever it may be. But what do I really want? What need does this really fulfill? Is it love? Is it gratitude? Is it significance? And then, the next sort of step from that is like, well, if I want love, what is a healthy, harmonious, in alignment way for me to receive that or for me to generate that? If it's a sense of significance, rather than doing that thing that maybe will get you attention, what will truly bring a sense of significance to yourself or your life or your situation. Very, very interesting. I'd love to know what you came up with if that one was resonating with you. Our next pile, we have the Four of Wands. Celebration, union. I get there's something to celebrate. This isn't always the case, but I think it's something to do with the home. Maybe you've bought a home, maybe you've sold a home, maybe you're renovating your home. But I get the sense here that there's something to do with the physical, tangible house or the place that you're living in. You could also sort of broaden out to your community as well. Something to do with, you know, I get the sense it's like there's a fixer-upper, you've done some work, you've decorated, there's an aesthetic upgrade. This one is really broad, but it's really interesting because it's so interesting because it's like it's physical, it's tangible. If you've been thinking about, I don't know, clearing out the storeroom in your house, the junk room that we all sort of tend to have, go ahead and do it. Not only is that sense of accomplishment totally freaking worth it, but maybe you'll rediscover something in there that you thought you had lost, or you'll need it in the upcoming week. So this is really interestingly a message of do the physical thing because there's something in that experience that will really be worth the work and something to celebrate. The two cards that came out with this, we got the Moon cards, subconscious mind, feminine intuition, and the Heart card, emotions and intuition. So very feminine energy. I get this is like the internal, this is the external. Just listen to your intuition with this one. Is it go clean out the storeroom? For me, it's been cleaning out the shed, getting ready to run art classes from there and have a bigger workspace. Is it something to do with, I also get the sense from this card in particular, like going to a particular place. Maybe you want to go to your local park and you're like helping with a cleanup effort. Still, this is still in connection with a physical, tangible place, whether it's your house, whether it's your home, whether it's your yard, your community. Follow that intuitive nudge this week. Maybe if you're in like a community Facebook group or something like that, just to have a look what's on. Maybe there's something you can get involved in. Trust yourself, don't overthink it. It's yeah, really interesting energy. I don't get much more from these cards. If this is you, let me know, whatever it was. I'm super intrigued. Our next card is the Nine of Pentacles. This is your sense of self and your sense of self-satisfaction. With this card being upside down, I just don't think you see yourself fully. You don't quite see all of your gifts. You don't quite see all your talents. You don't quite see what all the fuss is about, kind of, when it comes to you. But there is a lot to see. There is a lot to see. There is a lot to celebrate, and there is a lot that you have to share and give the world, whatever that looks like for you. Maybe it's in your business, maybe it's in your family, maybe it's through just your gifts as a human, like cooking or baking or knitting. I don't know, like there is so much to you. The issue is you're not seeing it and you're not sensing it. Now, not everything is about, you need to fix yourself. It's not necessarily that kind of message. It's just an opportunity to look a little bit deeper at what you have and honor that and celebrate that. Not everyone needs to turn every passion into a business. Not everyone needs to turn every gift into an income stream or something even just productive. Sometimes we can just enjoy the little things in life, and that's all we needed. Like stop holding back from the little things. Yeah, we might be trying to do big, amazing things in our life, and we eventually want to have, quite a grand scope when it comes to our dreams. But just because that may be off into the future doesn't mean that we can't be enjoying and taking the time for all the little things. So even if there is just a little spark in your heart, and all it wants is a day of your time, all it wants is an hour of your time, like allow yourself to give that to yourself. The two cards that came with this is Imrama. Where are you being called to journey to? Again, just like trusting your senses and trusting what you're interested in. Lumeria, creating heaven on earth. It's happening. And trusting that, we have all of our gifts and talents for a reason. I am a completely multi-passionate person with absolutely 101 things that I'm interested in, would love to do in the scope of my life. And rather than question that, and rather than go, how does that all fit together? It's just about trusting that each of those were for a reason. Sometimes they just stick around for a season, and other times, I don't need to know why I like all the things I like. Sometimes I just need to allow myself to like them and go for it. So that's your message this week as well. Honor yourself, acknowledge all the gifts and all the like glorious little pieces that make up you, and then embrace them, go for them, listen to them. Whew. Our next one, Page of Pentacles. You have something to give to the world, but you don't think it's big enough, and you don't think it's good enough, and you don't think it's enough, that you're enough. That is one judgment to definitely let go of. You have this beautiful thing that just needs to be shared. Share it this week. And it might be sharing it with one person, it might be sharing it with social media, it might be sharing it with your workplace, but allow yourself to go, even if this is all I have, it is more than enough. And then go share it. Two cards that came with this. Angels are often disguised as friends. To me, that's just a hint to share it with your friends. The root of all joy is gratitude, and bringing a lot of gratitude to this process, but allow yourself to receive the gratitude of others as well. Maybe the gift, the thing that you have to give is gratitude. Reach out to your friends and remind them of why you're grateful to them. Do something that shows your appreciation. Sometimes a kind word and a compliment is all that people need. And sometimes a kind word and a compliment is something that people didn't even know they needed. We don't often go out of our way to share with people what they mean to us, or to put into words or actions if you're more of a, what's that love language? Gifts of service? Nope. I mush those together. Acts of service. Type of person, even if it's something small, taking the effort, taking the time, sharing your gratitude. And we come to the final pile. We've got the devil. I always love this card. It's always so juicy and there's so much in it. I get the phrases here, the devil's in the details. That's it. That's the message this time. The devil's in the details. There is this sense of you're being very attached to the specifics of something. And maybe that's the specifics of a plan that you're trying to put in place. I need to have every, T crossed and I dotted before I begin. I need to know A to Z before I start. I need to be able to account for every single step of the journey before I take the first one. And I really get the sense here, truly the devil is in the details, because it's the thing that's stopping you and it's the thing that's keeping you from moving forward. Details are only as good as they support us. Once they start to weigh us down and bog us down and hold us back and bring up the darkness and the shadows and the excuses and the overwhelming tide, that's when we know the devil's in the details. So I get the sense, even though that's not probably the correct meaning of that term, that is the message this week. Get as much information as you need, but when it starts to overwhelm you, that's your sign to back off. The card that comes with this, Rainbows and Clouds. The message from Gloria Steinem is dreaming, after all, is a form of planning. Sometimes we try to turn our dreams into this very logical, analytical kind of plan. You can just let it be a dream. You can just let it be kind of like when you wake up and you've only got some of the details. You can try and pick it apart and fill in the blank spots, and sometimes it just gets confusing and we shake it out of our head. Or you can just allow yourself to remember the highlights, the main parts, and know that that's enough. We've got a question and an affirmation here. When was the last time I made this space for daydreaming? My imagination is my superpower. When you're getting stuck in the details, turn towards daydreaming, turn towards your imagination, or simply allow yourself to reconnect to the parts of the path that you know. You know, sometimes there's the clouds and it's a bit blurry and foggy, and we don't quite have, you know, what's going to happen in that stage and step. But we often have more than we think we have, and we definitely often have more than we need to get started. So don't let the devil trap you in the details. Let me see. Is there anything else I'm sensing for this week? Just a few little reminders is what I'm sensing coming up and through. And remember, if this resonated, like, subscribe, let me know in the comments below. And if anything intuitively comes to me, I'll make sure to include it in my comment back to you. And I'll do my best to always comment back to everyone. And if you think this will serve other people in your circle, please do share it as well. Keep an eye on the number 19. I still think it's significant beyond the fact that I'm filming this on the 19th. I think nearly every single person is going to resonate with that temptation card, by the way. It was just so significant. Final messages is just make the most of this week. Look for the silver linings. Enjoy and savor each moment that you can. And coming back to gratitude, coming back to appreciation, coming back to not only is there a lesson in everything that happens, you know, good, bad, or neutral, but we get to make the meaning from the things that happen. So, you know, look for the meaning, look for the messages, and enjoy yourself this week. If you're one of the lucky ones who book in a one-to-one reading with me, or even your 30-day forecast, I really look forward to connecting with you and helping you with the messages and the cards that want to come up and speak through me to you. And for everyone else, I look forward to seeing you on the next video and in the comments below. Have a glorious week.